Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Sarpy County Board of Equalization meeting. Today is Tuesday, October 18th. It's 3:01 p.m. Copy of the Nebraska Open Meeting Act rule, or we'll see, Nebraska Open Meetings Act is posted on the north wall of the boardroom. In attendance, we have 4 commissioners: Commissioner Burmeister, Warren, Mixon, and Kelly. Commissioner Klug's absent. We have our county administrator, Dan Hoynes, our county clerk.
She's typing.
And Desiree from the clerk's office and Register of Deeds office. I see Trace Jones out there and Dan Pittman, our county assessor. Trace is our treasurer. If you would, silence your cell phones and let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Two items on consent.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Burmeister, second by Mixon. Any discussion? Please vote.
A is for, absent Klug.
Okay, on the regular agenda, we have 2 items. The first one is tax corrections, 17053 and 17054. Any questions for Dan Pittman on those?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Burmeister, second by Warren. Please vote.
A is for, absent Klug.
Okay, 5.2 is Resolution 278. It's setting the 2022-2023 levy allocations. Tammy Drucker. Hi, Tammy.
Thank you very much. Here we go. Attached is the resolution in Exhibit A for the setting of tax levies for the various subdivisions in Sarpy County. Under Nebraska Statute 77-1601, these levies are to be set on or before October 20th of each year. Each subdivision is required to submit a budget to the state auditor and to the county clerk by September 30. We audit every budget for compliance with the state law. Statutorily, we have until November 5th to correct any clerical errors, but our goal is to prevent these from occurring prior to the setting of the levy. This fiscal year, we received and audited 172 entities. 146 were SIDs that submitted budgets, 4 SIDs were annexed, 5 rural fire districts, 13 school and educational units, 5 cities, and then, of course, the county, the Ag Society, and Papio NRD. Over the years, we have developed a very thorough audit process, and the large number of subdivisions in Sarpy County has occupied a great deal of our time for the last 3 weeks. We work very closely with the state auditor's office on these. Further, we share valuations and assessments on 13 entities with 17 other counties. This year, due to LB 644 and the compressed time frame, some entities may still need information corrected. However, that information does not impact these numbers. I have been in contact with those entities, and they have been responsive and will be providing information to Sarpy at the earliest opportunity, specifically affidavits of publications and the republishing of their numbers. Copies of all of these budgets are maintained in your office if you ever wish to peruse any of them. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Questions for Tammy?
No question, but a comment. Thanks for doing this. It would be my worst nightmare to have to go face this on a daily basis. So thank you very much.
My 12th year of it, sir.
I appreciate it. Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Warren and a second by Commissioner Mixon. Any further comments? Okay, please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Klug.
Okay, all the agenda items having been addressed as published, the Board of Equalization is adjourned. Ready, Desiree?
Yep.
Okay, welcome to the Board of Commissioners meeting. Today's Tuesday, October 18th. It's 3:07 p.m. Nebraska Open Meeting Act rules are on the north wall. 4 commissioners are present, along with our county administrator and our county clerk and register of deeds. Commissioners' comments. Commissioner Mixon.
None.
No comment.
None, thank you.
Dan.
Nothing, sir.
Scott. Clerk.
Good to be back.
Welcome back. I'm glad you're doing better.
Thank you.
Okay, consent agenda, we have 2 items. No, I'm sorry. Pull that back. We have 8 items on the consent agenda. Would anyone like to see any of those pulled up to the regular agenda? If not, take a motion to approve as published.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Burmeister, second by Warren. Discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Klug.
Okay, we got a couple items on the regular agenda today. They're discussions and reports. The first one is 5.1. It's from our Juvenile Services Director, Tammy Steensma. Tammy, welcome.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm sure I hit something wrong. Yeah, get that right there. Thank you. All right. We have been extremely busy at the Juvenile Justice Center. So I'm reporting for August and September since we didn't meet the last couple of months. So just our bookings for August and September 31 and 29, for our admissions 22 and 26. Average daily population jumped from 10 to 14. Average length of stay remains pretty much the same. Our truancy and tracker and care program, those numbers did increase in August and September, which is typical when school starts. And then our alternative school in August, since we only had our reporting center and our school open for about half of the month, that's why our numbers are 13 and 12, and our reporting center are 34 and 40. Just our graph here. Just want to highlight some medical data. Most importantly would be our clients on medication, 10 and 19. We've had a lot of in-person psychiatric visits as well as some telehealth. And then just to draw your attention, I know I always like to talk about this with our psych meds. So of the 9 youth in August that were on psych meds, that's a total of 27. So 3 meds each, and then 16 youth in September for a total of 46 meds. Again, just our mental health watches, 24 and 31. So just about every one of our clients at some point were on some type of mental health watch. I am happy to report that we added 2 new counties in August and September. So August, we added Furnace County down here. And then in September, we added Kearney County. So a lot of youth in our detention center the last month of September. And I did touch on this just briefly the last time we met about our back to school bash, but now that we have all of our numbers and figures in, I did want to just bring to your attention. First time that we ever had, I invited some agencies to be vendors. So Heartland Workforce, so they could talk about some career development and opportunities for our youth and as well as our families. Lift Up Sarpy was also there. One Heart Project, which I know you guys are familiar with, Healthy Blue too, and then our Charles Drew and Release Ministry. So a lot of different agencies that were able to provide our families and our youth with some information. We had 102 in attendance, 160 backpacks were distributed with school supplies, 226 clothing closet items were selected, and then again, the 5 agency volunteers or vendors that we had. Can I answer any questions?
Yeah, I have. Can you go back to your slide with the population?
Do you want this
No, all the way
or the
up.
very top one? The very
Yeah, all the way. So just a couple of questions about capacity.
Yes.
Can you remind the board what the capacity is for average daily population?
So we have a 30-bed facility. So we will take up to 30 youth. But our average daily population has been running anywhere from 15 to 18 is typical. But we do have a capacity of 30 beds.
So is there a different staffing requirement based on the population numbers?
So staff secure is 1 staff member per 12 youth. However, that was also determined in the early 2000s when youth were there for runaway and uncontrollable behaviors. Now that we've got more aggressive type behaviors, then it would be 1 to every 8 youth.
Okay. So those
And in some circumstances, sorry, Commissioner Kelly, in some circumstances, it'd be one-on-one depending on the type of need that youth might have.
So 1 to every 8. So those 8 would all be in the same area, I assume, right?
Most typically, yes. So we've got the 3 pods, and the one pod that I typically use for my females will have 6 beds, and then the other 2 will have the 12 beds. So depending on, again, on the population and the type of youth that we have, they could potentially all be in 1 pod, yes.
Okay. And how's your staffing currently?
I am down 4 full-time staff members with another one probably leaving me within the next couple months for the sheriff's office for sworn. So
But are they poaching your employees?
they always poach my employees.
So what's the impact of that?
It is a huge impact as far as our house arrest. So detention has to be staffed at all times. So when those staffing levels decrease, then I have to pull from other areas. So potentially with, impacting our care unit and our truancy program. So as well as our reporting center and our other community type programs. So those youth are being underserved essentially that are living out in the community because our detention has to be staffed at all times.
So on your exit surveys, what are the reason people are providing for leaving?
Most of it is for law enforcement or other type of positions in that area, but pay, to be quite honest with you, it's you can go across the street to the jail and make a lot more money there than at the Juvenile Justice Center. And it's a difficult job. It's not something for everybody. So if you want to work with youth, that's where you want to start at. But when you've got youth that are aggressive or just being out of control, then you could go elsewhere. OPS is hiring bus drivers for $22 an hour. So you could go elsewhere and make as much money, if not more, in a stress-free type environment.
Okay, and then do you know how our pay compensation compares to county, for example, or Lancaster?
So they do make more, but they're also a secure facility. I happen to be on the other side where I think a staff secure facility requires a lot more interaction with the youth and should be paid more, because in a secure facility you can lock the doors and sit in your control center and monitor the youth and not have that one-to-one interaction that we have to provide at a staff secure. But yes, they do pay more.
Okay, and then last question on the requirements for a staff secure. What would, if we had to modify our facility from a staff secure to a, what was the other term?
To a secure?
Yeah,
Yes.
to a secure, what would that require?
It would require some definite hardware. So, and, things of that nature as far as making like a unit at one of the units at the facility a secure area. We would have to add some more cameras, and depending on the type of youth that we would take, might be where we would have to add some nursing staff, education staff, So it depends on if we want to keep our population as is at 30 and just change one of the pods to a secure. It may not be a huge impact upon the staffing wise, but operationally, as far as making that building a secure area and having a rec center so that they can be inside and not have to worry about any type of escapes, and that will definitely be an impact financially.
This is probably a better question for you, Dan. Do we have data on what the cost might be for that if we had to fund that?
Yeah, we have some preliminary data as part of the master plan for the JJC campus.
Okay, but is it still up to date, or is it getting a little dusty?
It's pretty current. We just did it this year.
Okay. All right, thanks, Tammy. That's all I have. Anybody else have any questions? All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, item 5.2 is Community Directions Correction Director Report. Jake Burst.
You can leave your step counter watch at the podium when you go.
Oh, I like the friendly banter. Thanks.
You look a little sore.
Yeah.
A little stiff today.
Yeah, I am. Here are, just like Tammy mentioned, a couple months worth of data for August and September. We were pretty steady the past couple of months. Highlighting down here, pre-trial release, we had 36 new offenders for the month of August, 239 total program participants. September, 37 offenders, 237 total participants. And then here are our year-to-date numbers with the 358 placements, 587 participants, 628 screenings, saving over 50,000 jail beds at savings of just over $7 million. Here's some of the graphs that you guys have started to get familiar with. Our screening numbers remain pretty high. Our placements have been pretty steady throughout the year. Our electronic monitoring numbers have been interesting. So our alcohol monitoring numbers have steadily been decreasing since around March, and our GPS offenders, those numbers have been going up. So I kind of went back and looked at some of the data, which in this pie chart here, around the first part of the year, the number of alcohol related offenses were a few percentage points higher, and the crimes against person offenders, those percentage points were lower. So the type of offender that we're getting is a little bit different, which is affecting the monitoring they're on. But other than that, that's all I have. Does anybody have any questions at all? Okay.
Questions for Jake? No?
Before I go, you might not know that the chairman is part of an elite team called the Kilometers for the Walktober Fest Challenge, and you weren't there when we got our award for winning, so here we are. And
Thank you.
Yeah, and that is a little gift from the team. So
Yeah, I'm not sure if that complies with the gift policy. Refer that to legal.
yeah. So yeah, in the tumbler, Mr. Chairman's a gift from your teammates, and then in anticipation of some friendly banter from Dan, I did make you a participation certificate. There you go.
Thank you, Jake. I appreciate it. Look forward to this week's prize too.
So how many steps did you have in the grand total of this
Well,
in the team, and where did you rank?
You just have to remember that there's a difference between 20-year-old legs and 65-year-old legs, okay? But I held my own, right, Jake? I'm not going to brag, but you know what, Gary? If I looked around and looked for you in my rearview mirror, I wouldn't be able to see you.
You wouldn't see me. I'd be in front of you.
All right, thank you, Jake. Let's see here. I think that pretty much wraps up this meeting. All agenda items haven't been addressed as published. The Board of Commissioners is adjourned, and we're going to go right into the Board of Corrections. Ready? Okay, welcome everybody to the Board of Corrections meeting. It's October 18th, 3:21. 4 commissioners present along with our administrator and our clerk. And let's get right into the business of approving the minutes from our August 23rd meeting. And I assume someone was absent, right? No?
Nope, I think everybody was there.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Burmeister, second by Commissioner Warren. Discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Klug.
Okay, going to get our corrections director to give his report on corrections program and also on the correctional center, which is items 4.1 and 4.2.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. We're going to do our jail tour this afternoon, so be pretty brief running through these reports. And just want to point out real quickly, you see our admissions and releases, pretty standard stuff. We're looking into the pre-COVID years, and we're getting in that area. The one thing that I would just point out is if you look at this average daily population, that's creeped up for 3 consecutive months. For September, we were at 165 as an average daily population for the month. That's the highest for 2022. I still think that we're going to be in really good shape going into the new facility and well under that projection. I'd be happy to answer any other questions about any of our charts or graphs. They all pretty similar to our previous reports.
Questions? Thank you.
Okay, and then just updates on the new facility. We're going to go out there and take a look around that area, that photo in that second picture. You can see they're closing that space up. The middle photo there you'll see is they put the staircases, landings into the 3rd floor. So a lot of activity finishing up that 3rd floor. The contractor has notified us that this main electrical gear is going to be delayed, and that's going to push the substantial completion from January 4th to late January. I asked that they talk to you a little bit about that when we get over to their trailer this afternoon. As far as staffing the new facility goes, we've got 16 vacancies today. We've got 12 conditional offers out, and I don't think getting enough staff to operate the new facility will be an issue. As we're bringing staff on, we're modifying our current operation to mimic the operation we'll have in the new facility. So I'll let you know that this past week we introduced direct supervision in 2 of our largest housing units. And as we get more staff through training, we'll start implementing that in all of our housing units before we get in there. So be happy to answer any questions you have. Okay.
So Ryan, just for clarity for the board, the substantial completion date being delayed 3 weeks does not delay the anticipated operational date in March. Is that accurate?
That could be impacted because we're going to have to spend some time training in the new facility.
Okay.
But if we can do the direct supervision where we're at, then we can move over pretty quickly.
Okay.
But it could be, our schedule could be shifted just like that as well.
So in macro terms, how's the staffing?
Excellent, excellent. The last group of officers we have is the highest group scoring group that we've had since I've been here. We've got 7 veterans in the group. 3 people are coming to us from active duty. Every class we brought on this year has had a lot of previous correctional experience. That's how we're able to implement the direct supervision. So we're really in a good spot right now. I appreciate all the support and the contract. That's made a big difference. Word of mouth on the lateral transfers helping us as well.
Great. Thank you. Look
Thanks.
forward to the tour.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to go into recess here in the Board of Corrections and conduct our quarterly jail inspection. And we should be back in about 20, 30 minutes and we'll adjourn. Welcome back, everybody. All agenda items having been addressed as published, the Board of Corrections is adjourned.